Hey everyone, and welcome to Animal Deli Pet Health.
So glad to have you join us today, really.
Absolutely. Today we're diving into a topic that honestly is buzzing everywhere right now.
It really is. We're talking about the rapidly growing trend of CBD for our beloved pets.
That's right, and I mean, you might have heard whispers, maybe even seen some products, but the benefits, they're truly incredible.
Yeah, and we'll unpack all of that. But beyond the buzz, what's really crucial and what we'll emphasize today is the importance of quality when it comes to these products for your furry friends.
So Linda, let's just jump right into it. Why do you think CBD for dogs has really taken off the way it has? Because it feels like overnight it's everywhere.
Oh, it absolutely has, Elliot. And I think it's for good reason, frankly. I mean, in just a few short years, pet owners have really seen firsthand the supportive benefits this natural compound can offer. We're talking a really wide range of conditions, everything from like reducing anxiety.
Right, the anxiety thing is huge.
It really is, to helping with inflammation, chronic pain. I mean, imagine your older dog with arthritis, It's been a game changer for so many. And pet owners are drawn to it because it can help with things like noise sensitivity, separation anxiety, skin health, allergies, even digestion. It's quite versatile.
Yeah, it sounds like it covers a lot of ground. And speaking of covering ground, we should mention that leading the charge, especially here in Europe, is a company called Animal Deli. They were actually the first to integrate THC-free CBD into like a full range of pet food products.
Yes, and that's a key point, the THC-free aspect. Their success really spotlights not just the potential of CBD for dogs, but also, the huge importance of quality, transparency, and regulatory compliance. It's not just a fad, it's backed by a responsible approach.
And Linda, you mentioned it's not just a fad, it's backed by a responsible approach. I think that leads us perfectly into the evidence because what's actually out there to, back up these claims?
Oh, for sure, Elliot. I mean, the scientific and anecdotal evidence, it just keeps pouring in. It's really encouraging. For example, there was a Cornell University study that found something pretty remarkable. 83% of dogs given CBD chews before a stressful event showed reduced anxiety-related behaviors.
Wow, 83%? That's really significant, especially when you think about dogs with, separation anxiety or even just fear of thunderstorms. That's a huge number.
It really is, and it's not just anxiety either. There was another really interesting Australian trial that focused on dogs with atopic dermatitis, so, skin issues. They reported that 65% of the dogs showed at least 50% relief in itching and chewing, and actually about half of them were covered entirely from those symptoms.
Half recovered entirely? That's incredible. So it's not just about taking the edge off. It's actually about significant improvement, even recovery for some.
Exactly. And beyond that, additional reviews constantly highlight CBD's anti-inflammatory and analgesic potential for things like osteoarthritis. So for those older pups or even younger dogs with joint issues, it's really offering a lot of hope and, real relief too. It's not just a hunch, there's actual data. So all that data, Linda, it really points to the efficacy of CBD, right? But then who's actually, leading the way in making sure these products are safe and effective, especially for our pets in Europe?
That's a fantastic question, Linda, and it brings us straight to Animal Deli. They've really established themselves as the leader, I would say, in CBD-infused pet food across Europe. And what's really impressive is their commitment to quality.
Right, because it's not just about, oh, it's CBD. It's about what kind of CBD, where it comes from, how it's processed, right?
Absolutely. That's the crucial part. Animal Deli offers a complete product range, and I mean complete. We're talking dog food, puppy food, treats, even equine feed. And every single item is infused with broad-spectrum CBD, but here's the key. It is completely free from THC.
THC-free, that's a huge deal for pets, isn't it? Because I know that's like the psychoactive component, and what's harmless for humans can be really problematic for animals.
You hit the nail on the head. It's not just undesirable, it's actually toxic to dogs. Even tiny amounts can cause things like urinary incontinence, disorientation, tremors, respiratory depression, and in severe cases, even coma.
So Animal Deli's commitment to broad-spectrum CBD, ensuring zero psychoactive compounds, is like a non-negotiable for them. It's even reinforced by veterinary experts, which is just so important.
So they're not just saying it's THC free. They're actually, backing it up with really rigorous standards. And that probably ties into their EU production, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge factor. With cannabidiol now falling under the EU's novel food regulation, there are incredibly strict standards that apply. We're talking safety assessments, full traceability, and Animal Deli's products are completely EU produced, from cultivation all the way to extraction, formulation, and manufacturing. This isn't just about meeting legal thresholds, it's about guaranteeing consistent quality, proper lab testing, and the really reliable supply chain.
So the fact that it's all done within the EU means that, consumers can really trust the ingredients and the transparency, which frankly is so important in a market where regulations are still, catching up to demand. It just cements trust with both consumers and perhaps even more importantly, with veterinarians.
But, we've talked a lot about the common benefits, the anxiety, the pain, the allergies. Are there other, maybe lesser known benefits of CBD for dogs that people might not be aware of yet?
Oh, absolutely, Elliot. We're really just scratching the surface, I think. While things like improved coat health, allergy relief, digestion, pain management, and anxiety reduction are super well documented, researchers and even pet owners are noting some other pretty significant potential effects.
Like what specifically?
Well, for instance, there's growing interest in CBD's potential for seizure support. That's a huge one for many dog owners, who are looking for additional ways to help manage those conditions. And another one that's really coming to light is immune modulation.
Immune modulation. That's fascinating. So it's not just about like an immediate physical response, but it's actually influencing the dog's internal systems?
Exactly. And that actually brings us to how CBD works in the first place, which is through something called the endocannabinoid system, or ECS.
Ah, the ECS. I heard that term, but I don't think I fully grasp what it is exactly.
Right. So the ECS is this crucial regulatory network in the body. It's actually in humans too, but it's especially sensitive in dogs. It basically governs a whole host of really important functions: mood, pain perception, appetite, sleep, and yes, those immune responses we were just talking about.
So when a dog takes CBD, it's like interacting directly with this internal system that's already responsible for so many vital functions.
Exactly. CBD influences the system, which then in turn helps bring balance to those functions. And because a dog's ECS is particularly sensitive, that explains why we see such a strong physiological response in them compared to, say, humans when they receive CBD. It's truly remarkable how it works within their bodies.
Wow, that really helps clarify the science behind it. It's not just some, magic pill, it's actually working with their own bodies. So, okay, we've talked about all these amazing benefits and how it works, but I think the biggest question for a lot of our listeners now is, how do I actually use this safely for my pet?
That is such a crucial point because with anything new you're introducing to your pet's regimen, safety has to be paramount. So we've got some really essential guidance for our listeners here.
Lay it on us. What's the first thing people should keep in mind?
First and foremost, always choose products that are THC-free, broad spectrum, and this is critical, lab tested. We talked about Animal Deli being completely THC-free and why that's so important for dogs. You need to see those lab reports, often called certificates of analysis or COAs, that confirm what's in the product and what's not.
Right. So you're not just taking the company's word for it, you're seeing the independent verification. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. And it also goes back to what we mentioned about EU manufacture. Verifying that the product is made in the EU usually means it adheres to stricter standards, which is another layer of confidence. But beyond that, before you even start, please consult your veterinarian.
The vet, of course, because every pet is unique, right?
Precisely. Your vet knows your pet's medical history, any existing conditions, and can help guide you on appropriate dosing, especially if your pet is on other medications. And speaking of dosing, always begin with a low dose. Start small, observe, and then gradually increase if needed, and only under guidance if possible.
Don't just, jump in with both feet.
No. And then related to that, monitor your pet for any side effects. While CBD is generally well tolerated, just like with any supplement, every animal is different. Look for any changes in behavior, appetite, or stool consistency.
So it's about being observant and I guess treating it as a supportive tool rather than like a cure-all.
Absolutely. Think of it as a wellness supplement, not a cure for a specific disease. It supports the body's natural systems, helping bring balance, but it's not a standalone treatment for serious medical conditions. It complements, it doesn't replace. So to wrap things up, Linda, it really feels like CBD for dogs has gone from being this kind of curious niche thing to a really mainstream wellness tool.
Absolutely, Elliot. And it's thanks to, well, compelling research for sure, but also the conscientious work of pioneers in this space, like Animal Deli. They've really set a benchmark.
Yeah, totally. I mean, emphasizing those THC-free formulations, those strict EU production standards, and of course, the broad-spectrum CBD and accessible pet foods, it really builds that trust, doesn't it? That sense of safety and quality.
It really does. And I think that's why they've become such a leader in Europe. Because whether you're trying to soothe an anxious pup, or you have a dog dealing with pain, allergies, or even seizures, CBD, when used correctly, really does offer a gentle, natural way to enhance their canine health.
It's empowering, actually, for pet owners, knowing that with informed product choices and just, being careful with dosing and working with their vet, they really can unlock these benefits for their furry companions.
Exactly. It's about empowering pet parents to make the best choices for their beloved dogs, leading to more wagging tails and ultimately happier hearts all around.
What a great way to put it, Linda. It's been an incredibly informative session. Thanks for joining us today on Animal Deli Pet Health.
My pleasure.